I invite you to imagine with me how the life and the household of Hannah was, with her husband Elkanah and the second wife Peninnah, after Hannah gave birth to Samuel, and after him 6 more children. Let's imagine this, because the Bible does not give us this detail. Because in the prayer of Hannah, for Samuel chapter 2, he gives us an idea of what probably has happened, because Hannah's prayer, which is one of the most beautiful prayers in the Bible, which was even mentioned by Mary when the angel Gabriel spoke to her, she said in this prayer the following: "My heart rejoices in the Lord. My horn is exalted in the Lord. I smile at my enemies, because I rejoice in your salvation." And later she says, look at what she says: "Those who were full have hired themselves out of bread," which were poetic words. She was saying the following: God has changed my fortune, which means those who thought to be blessed and exalted and strong, they fell, and those who were found weak and cursed were exalted, strengthened, and blessed, which was what happened to her. Then she says, "Those who were full have hired themselves out for bread, and the hungry have ceased to hunger. Even the barren has borne 7, and she who has many children has become feeble." So, this indicates that Peninnah stopped giving birth. She stopped having children. Soon after, Hannah started having children, which means her fortune reversed. The situation changed around. God exalts the humble and humiliates the exalted. So how? Most probably, in her house, where once Peninnah humiliated her, told her terrible words, stepped on her misery. It was not enough for Hannah being sad without children. Peninnah had to step on her, humiliate her, bring the back to light again, to feel better, which is what usually happens to the unhappy, that they may feel better with themselves. They need to put others under them. Peninnah was an unhappy woman because she didn't have the love of her husband. She was brought to that house to give birth to children. It was an unfair situation, an action from Elkanah, unfair towards Hannah too. But Peninnah agreed. She accepted the proposal. Then, the right thing was, as it was not an ideal situation, was at least for her to accept the terms of that proposal. You are here just to give me children, but that was not enough. She wanted everything for her, everything. As she was an unhappy woman, she humiliated Hannah, the first wife, who was loved by her husband. But when God changed that situation, then you can imagine how things were in the house, how God quieted the mouth of Peninnah. And this is what God loves to do, to quiet the mouth of our enemies, of those who are bragging about, glorying themselves, those who are dancing on the tomb of their enemies. God loves to quiet them down, which was what God did in Hannah's situation. Peninnah became mute. We don't hear about Peninnah after this situation. But understand that it's not a matter of revenge. I don't believe that Hannah meant that. She was speaking in prayer, talking to God. She had the right, after so many years of humiliation, to express her praise. She was praising God. You, Lord, changed everything. You can change it all. She was praising. She was not dancing before the misery of Peninnah. She was not taking revenge on Peninnah. She was saying that God was wonderful. You take, Lord, out of the ash heap the weak, the humiliated person, and you put them up there. Hannah was praising God in her prayer. She had the right to express her joy. As she started saying in the beginning of her prayer, my heart rejoices in the Lord, which means she was happy with joy and satisfaction because of all that God did in her life. So the environment in the house changed. Hannah was blessed, was honored. There was no more reason for humiliation. Peninnah's bubble was burst. She had to go back to her corner, where she should have never come out from, and God could be glorified in that story of pain that became a testimony. So we learn from Hannah's story that often God allows pain, God allows suffering, just as He allowed Hannah's suffering, as He allowed Abraham and Sarah to have their pains with her infertility, as He allowed the pain in many heroes of faith who were persecuted, humiliated, suffered injustices. I could speak about Gideon or Moses or David, so many others who were humiliated, persecuted, suffered injustices, and God allowed that. Why? Because in the pain, in the apex of pain, we reveal who we are. We reveal what is in us. If we are made of haystack, of nothing, in the time of pain, this flaw in the character is manifested. We surrender, we give in, we curse God, we curse people, we curse our own lives, and etc. We reveal ourselves in our weakness. But when in us there's something pure and sincere, not that we are good, because the word says that nobody's good in God's standards, but when there's sincerity, truth in us, then when we still believe in the good principles, good values, when we still believe in God's justice, in God's character, it is in the pain that these good principles flourish in us. And we grow against the problem. When the problem suffocates us, pushes against a corner with a knife on our neck, our strength becomes a giant, and we manifest faith because there's no other option. Either we manifest faith or we are swallowed up and disappear. And this is what happened to Hannah in the apex of her pain, of her provocation that she suffered from Peninnah. She exploded in faith. She broke through in faith. She broke away from every religiosity that she was accustomed to. She went to God with no mediators, and she changed her story in one prayer. One prayer, not involving priests, her husband, or rituals. Simply in a sincere prayer, when she finally understood that she had to offer what she wanted the most, to whom she believed in. When she offered not the offerings that her husband would give to her, but when she offered what she had of most value in her, that desire to be a mother, when she gave that up to God, she was free, both from the oppression of her rival and the self-demand, the demand from society, and from her anxiety, her bitterness. She was free from all that. When she let go of that and gave it to God, God gave it back to her. Dear friends, sometimes God allows the pain so that we may react. We may come out of our shell. We may come out of our comfort zone, of waiting for others, lamenting and nagging. Life was unfair, God forgot me, so-and-so didn't help me, or they don't help me. God allows us to reach the limit to our pain, to say, it's only me and God. I can't wait for anyone. God does not want us to live a religiosity, but a true and sincere faith that counts on Him, that deals with Him as the character that He presents in His Word, as a Father. When we manifest this, faith is activated. And I can imagine in Hannah's house, I'm just imagining. I even believe that this might have happened because of the character that Hannah manifested. There might have had a day that Peninnah was a little ashamed because of all she did, and the focus was on Hannah again. I imagine Hannah one day might have come to Peninnah and told her, listen, Peninnah, don't worry. I have nothing against you. I even would like to thank you for all that has happened, because if it was not for the pain you caused me, I wouldn't have gone to the altar or to God. So thank you, Peninnah, for all the evil you caused me, because all the evil you caused me got turned into good. If today's video helped you and you know someone that could benefit from it, share it with them, and if you haven't subscribed to the channel, you may do so now. See you later.